My name is Michelle Paranello-Cason, and I am the founder of Dayla Learning, a place for homeschooling the humanities with humanity. I have a PhD in English and more than 10 years of teaching experience, and I'm using that experience to create engaging, interesting writing classes for high schoolers. I'm really excited today to announce the classes that will be starting in January of 2020. First, let me tell you a little about my teaching philosophy. I believe that everyone can learn to write. Writing is a skill, and just like any other skill, the more we practice, the better we get. I also believe that revision is a key part of writing. It's okay to make a mess, and there is no such thing as a bad rough draft. I know that writing is audience dependent and that learning to write means considering how to communicate in the best way to reach a particular audience. I also know that the best way to do that is to focus on higher order concerns like main idea, organization, and development before turning to lower order concerns like grammar, formatting, and style. Finally, I believe that all writers enter the classroom with meaningful knowledge and experiences, and that everyone has something worth saying. This is even more clear when writers are given interesting, engaging topics to write about. That last point about interesting and engaging topics is why I choose to theme my writing classes around nonfiction books. When I was in school, most writing classes were based around literature. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a complete English nerd and I love literature. I loved reading it, writing about it, talking about it, arguing over it, all of it. But literary analysis and composition are not the same set of skills. For some students, trying to learn how to analyze a poem or recognize foreshadowing and allusion while also trying to learn to write clearly is overwhelming. Some students also just like reading nonfiction more than they like reading fiction. Finally, reading and responding to nonfiction is an important life skill that helps students become critical consumers of the media and messages around them. This is why I have chosen nonfiction books as the spine for my full semester classes. What books? I'm glad you asked. For the spring 2020 trimester, I am offering classes themed around 3 different books. The first is Malcolm Gladwell's best-selling book, Outliers. This book takes a look at the conventional understanding of success and complicates that story. It teaches us that success is more than just hard work. It looks at the role that luck and cultural legacies play in creating conditions where success is possible. Students taking this class will read the entire book, which is written as 10 chapters that each examine a separate story, making it really engaging. They also write 4 multiple draft papers, including a personal definition of success, a letter advising a prodigy's parents on whether to pursue a competitive career, a reflection on failure using outside sources to support their interpretation, and an analysis essay on a piece of pop culture that addresses success. The next book that I'm offering a class on is Hope Jaren's book, Lab Girl. I really love this book. Jaren is a botanist who opens up about the difficulties and triumphs of her career in a memoir that is half personal narrative and half scientific exploration of plants. She chooses these beautiful metaphors that explore her own struggles with mental illness, the beauty of the plant world, and the dark side of scientific funding. Students will write a place profile with a focus on detailed descriptions, compose a process paper that has to pay careful attention to order and audience, explore a career with outside research, and do a close textual analysis of some of the metaphors in the book. The newest class I've added is based around Daniel Park's book, How Would You Rule? This book is a lot of fun. It's a collection of weird legal cases, and each chapter is written in the same format. The author first presents an overview of the case and then asks the readers how they would rule if they were the judges. Park then reveals what actually happened and gives some analysis about the outcomes of the case. Readers get to practice critical thinking skills and explore legal concepts like precedents, contracts, and evidence. Students will write 4 essays, and each one gives some options for how to approach the assignment. They'll examine ethos, pathos, and logos through some of the cases presented in the book. They'll also explore the tricky nature of language with a paper that asks them to examine how words can have multiple meanings. After reading several chapters with contract disputes, they'll get a chance to write their own sample contract or examine the terms of service of an existing contract that applies to them. Finally, the last paper will give them a chance to reflect on the intersection of the law and ethics. I want to give you a quick sneak peek at what these materials look like so that you can better choose which one will work best for your family. If you choose to take a live or a guided class, students will have access to a Canvas learning platform where all of their assignments are organized by week. The beginning of each week, the module for that section will open and the assignments are due at the end of that week. So students will get their stuff broken down into step-by-step pieces. They'll be able to see along the side what's coming up and what's due. At any time, they can go and check their grades and see what has been submitted and what's missing. And you can also use that to print a very comprehensive overview of the class for transcripts at the end. I am also able to embed videos so that whenever I give feedback on a rough draft, I give video feedback and I talk the learner through what I think they're doing really well in their writing and where they might want to improve before the final draft. And I sometimes put in additional links for more information if students want to explore an idea further. If you choose to download the PDF version of a self-paced class, you'll receive a PDF that'll be about 150 to 180 pages long, depending on which class you take. And it'll start with an instructor guide that goes over some tips on the schedule, some tips on how to use the curriculum, some notes about quizzes, notes about grading, and ways to make the material easier or harder depending on your learner's needs. And so all of these are written kind of directly to the person teaching the class at the beginning. But then if you go down into the actual materials that the learners get, so here's an overview of all of the materials that are covered in this class. So I'm going to scroll down and show you what the actual weeks that you hand to the learners look like. So this is week 1. So this is what you would print out and give directly to your learner. And it has a table of contents to cover everything that's going to be looked at in that week. And then these are written directly to the learner so that it's designed to be where a parent could read the overview for themselves and then just print out the packets each week and hand them to their learners as they go. Again, this is completely self-paced. So I have a 12-week suggested schedule, but if you wanted to get it done in 6 weeks, you could do 2 packets a week. If you wanted to spread it out and do it longer, you can just wait until your learner's ready to give them the next one. And so there's a lot of flexibility in this. It will include a suggested schedule to keep them on track if they want to get it all done in a week. And it will also give some tips for reading and give you reading guides to help the readers as they go through the material. This can also be used as a starting place for a discussion. So you could have them fill out the reading guide and then discuss it together. And then it will also just kind of give discussion of the writing process and tips about things that will help them not just in this class, but in any writing class. The final option for self-paced is to do it as an online class, which I'm offering through the platform Teachable. So you get all the same materials as you would in the PDF version, but instead of having to print them out and give them to your learner, you can give your learner access to this online platform where they can see their progress through each step. All of the materials are available from the very beginning, so you can work through it in whatever pace you want, as slowly or as quickly as works for your family. And the other great thing about the online one is that it allows me to embed materials. So for instance, for this section where learners are going over brainstorming, they can watch a video about brainstorming, or they can click and read an article about brainstorming. And so the great thing here is that I can make materials available in multiple formats so that whatever works best for the learner they can use, or they can get it in both formats to kind of reinforce that learning through different ways. I'm really excited to be offering all of these classes. I love teaching them. I get so interested in hearing what the students have to say, and I really build some great relationships with learners through interacting with their work. If you're ready to sign up, you can do so at daylalearning.com. There's a classes and materials tab in the middle, and if you click on that, you will see links for each of the types of classes, and you can go through and sign up on the one that works best for you. If you have any questions, maybe you want some help figuring out which book is best for your learner, or which format is best for your learner, or if this is a good fit for your learner, I am more than happy to talk about it. You can contact me through my website or through Facebook, and I am always up for chatting about what would work best. So I hope to hear from you soon. Thank you.